Welcome back to Self-Love Ignited. Today we are talking about health. You can't hate yourself healthy. But what is health? So first we define what health is. Then we talk about what you can do instead. If we are not dealing with negativity, if we are not tearing ourselves down, if we want to get away from self-criticism, what can you do instead to build yourself up and to create balanced health on your terms? My name is Katie Allen, and this is Self-Love Ignited. Let's get to it. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, our topic is you can't hate yourself healthy. And this is a really important topic. It's one that I feel like has been mentioned a lot of times in various ways in this podcast and in lots of different places. But I really just want to have a conversation about this today. It is so important. If you're hating yourself, if you are criticizing yourself, depriving yourself of food or joy, or forcing yourself to exercise, just to shrink your body under the guise of health, think again, right? Very specifically, I want to say first off is that, sorry, I've got an itchy nose. If you're watching this on video, I've got an itchy nose today. I think allergies. So what is true health? True health is not the size of your body. Okay, true health is having a balance, being in homeostasis essentially, right? But having a balance between like your mind, your body, your emotions, and your spirit, being in balance, being in this beautiful place where everything is working together, right? Health is not necessarily being in a smaller body. For some people, it might be, for others, not. Right? Happiness is not necessarily being in a smaller body. That's a really important thing to touch on as well. And yes, you can want to be in a smaller body. You can want to pursue weight loss, but be really clear about your intentions. Be really clear about your intentions. If you are like, I want to be smaller so that I can be worthy of love, that's not a thing. If you are like, I want to lose weight because my knees are constantly aching, or because I'm finding it hard to run around with my family, or whatever it happens to be, that's a different thing, right? But don't peg all your hopes on it, right? So if you really want to talk about like weight loss specifically, listen to last week's episode. Okay, last week we talked about weight loss and self-love and how they intersect, how they can actually go together. So if weight loss is really the thing that you're looking for, go to last week. Today is about health specifically, and this like well-rounded version of health, I guess you could say. If your goal is to be truly well, if your goal is to be healthy, remember what we said, right? It's a balance between like your physical health, your emotional health, your mental health, and your spiritual health. If you are hating on yourself, if you are criticizing yourself, depriving yourself, that's not balance. You're not emotionally well if you are degrading yourself. You're not emotionally well if you are criticizing yourself and tearing yourself down, right? You are not mentally well if that's what's happening inside your head. So health by hate does not exist, cannot happen. Certain aspects, what people might peg as health, right? Like I said before, a body size or looking really toned or having that like healthy look, quote unquote, healthy look. Perhaps you can find that through self-hatred, but let me tell you, it is going to be a miserable, lonely path. And that's not true health. So let's just very quickly talk about these 4 aspects of health and look at how you can approach being healthy instead. If we're not doing it from a place of like hatred and negativity, how can we switch this around? Okay, so let's just look at those 4 things very, very quickly. Number 1, physical health. I think this is when most people talk about health, this is, I think, what the average person means. Physical health. So this is taking care of your physical body. Things like drinking enough water, getting enough rest, eating nutritious food, right? Like reducing your exposure to toxins. All of these things are physical health. Exercise, fitness, all of these types of things. And the beautiful thing about physical health is that you can do this from a place of love and abundance and joy. When you eat food not based on what you are not allowed to have, or what, the latest influencer said you should avoid, or because you're counting your carbs and you can't have this many grams, or because you're all in your head about it. But when you eat food based on like, this makes me feel so good. Eating this way, this food, whatever it happens to be, makes me feel energized and on top of the world. And like, I can do anything. And I know that I'm nourishing this beautiful body that I've got. Oh, how good. Right? When it's getting enough rest, it's not like, oh, I have to go to bed and then tomorrow I have to get up and I have to do it all over again. No, it's like, I'm going to get my 8 hours of sleep and I'm going to relish it. I'm going to go to bed early. I'm going to read a really good book. I'm going to have my like essential oil diffuser on. I'm going to sleep with like an eye mask because that just feels really yummy to me, right? Like, so these are all ways that you can take care of your physical health in a really positive way. Okay. Emotional health. Let's just look at emotional health. Emotional health, a lot of people clump emotional health and mental health together. And you know what? There's a lot of overlap between the two, right? But when I talk about emotional health, I'm talking about self-acceptance, self-esteem, resilience, the ability to manage all of your emotions that come up, manage them, not avoid them, right? But manage them in a healthy way that feels good. People who are emotionally healthy are sort of like, they're in control of like their thoughts and their feelings and their behaviors, and they're kind of on top of it, right? Like they can cope with day-to-day life, being emotionally healthy. You're resilient, you bounce back from things, you feel good about yourself, you have a good relationship with yourself, you have a good relationship with others. So again, if we're talking about getting healthy, you can't hate yourself healthy, right? Because hatred is the exact opposite of everything I just said. If we are hating, criticizing, tearing down, bullying, none of those things lead to balanced health. None of those things elevate your emotional health. So what can we do? We can build the things that I talked about. Build your self-acceptance, right? Build your self-esteem, build that resilience. And if you're like, how do I do that? Listen, let me tell you, there is quite a few episodes of this podcast that will tell you just that, right? That will tell you how to do that exact thing. How to do that exact thing. Self-acceptance, self-esteem, self-love would be part of this, right? Emotional health, that's all about your relationships and your inner world, your inner ecosystem. So build that emotional health. Mental health. Mental health, like I said, there is a lot of overlap between the two. But mental health is like your cognition, your perception, your behavior. It's how you handle stress. It is your relationships with different people. It's your ability to make decisions. According to the WHO, mental health is a state of well-being in which every individual realizes his or her own potential, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community, right? So again, if we are approaching health from this place of bullying, tearing down, negativity, none of that is going to elevate your mental health. None of that is going to elevate the state in which you see the world. None of that is going to make you feel better about yourself, your relationships with other people, how you interact in the world. So if we want to create balance in our mental health, things like stress management, right? This could be like meditation, it can be journaling, physical activity. Something else that helps with mental health is like counseling, right? I am not a counselor, I'm a coach, but I have been to counseling, I've been to therapy many times in my life for different things in different situations. And I can tell you that as far as mental health goes, it is incredibly helpful. I've also done CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. Again, it is a wonderful tool to have in your toolbox, right? There's lots of different things that we can do to elevate our mental health. None of them involve hating yourself. None of them involve tearing yourself down. Absolutely not. And then spiritual health. This is the last one. And this is one that not everybody considers to be really important when we're talking about health, but I certainly do. I never used to, but I've sort of grown into it. As I evolve, I realize how important this is for me and how important this is for others. Spiritual health Spend time connecting to that which is greater, whatever that means to you, whether you believe in God, right? Whether you believe in multiple gods, whether you are Buddhist, whatever that means for you, whether it's spirit or the universe, maybe it's Mother Earth, maybe it's Mother Nature, right? Even if you consider yourself atheist, chances are you can look around you and see the seasons, and that is greater than you. I remember hearing once, I don't know where I heard it, but it was somebody, and they were leaning into this idea of that which is greater, but they considered themselves atheists. They did not know what that meant for them. And for them, it ended up being the ocean, because when they stood on the beach and they looked out at the ocean, and it was so big and it was so huge, and it was just this thing that had like a life of its own, and it was powerful and calm and serene. And they said, this ocean is greater than me. So at the beginning, like at that point in their journey, that's what they did, right? So their spiritual health became that connection to the ocean, appreciating the ocean. And then I'm sure it evolved from there, but I just remember hearing that story and thinking, that which is greater doesn't always need to be God or spirit or the universe. It just needs to be that which is greater than you within your physical body in this moment, right? But spend time connecting to that which is greater than you, whatever that looks like for you. Because you know what? Spirituality, religion, human beings have these beliefs for a reason. This is a whole different conversation, and it can go really, really deep. But suffice to say, there is something that it feeds within us, something that it supports. It is comforting to us to believe in this. And even if you have that belief, but if you don't connect to it, if you are not conscious of it, if you are not nurturing that belief, then you're not really balanced, right? Because you're sort of ignoring this part of you. So I would really just encourage you, as far as spiritual health is concerned, spend time connecting to that which is greater than you in whatever way that looks like. So there's physical health, emotional health, mental health, spiritual health. The common goal between everything that I have talked about, all of these things, is adding to your life. How do we create health? You can't hate yourself healthy. So what do? Add so much goodness, add so much vibrancy, nurture yourself. Don't take away. Health is not about stripping you back so that you are trying to survive on the bare minimum. Health is not about tearing you down. Add goodness to your life, add support, add healthy food, add rest, add self-care, add connection to that which is greater, add friendships, right? Add hobbies, add community, add all of these things, not taking away. Coming from a place of positivity and kindness is going to change your world. It is going to change your world. I know that that's a really big statement, but it's true. But it's true. You can't hate yourself healthy. Health is not a number on a scale. Health is not something that you can capture in a photo and put on Instagram. Health is not what the latest fitness blogger is doing. Health is a multifaceted, complex system. But if your true goal is to be healthy, you've got to work towards balance. And I hope that this conversation today is helpful for you in maybe just getting a different perspective on what you've been trying to do, or maybe even just getting a different perspective on what you consider health to be. And what you consider health to be. And you know what? I would really love if part of your challenge with health is an inner critic. If part of your challenge with health is criticizing your body, bullying yourself, feeling like you just need to be thinner for you to be okay, feeling like you just need to change who you are, I would really encourage you to sign up for my absolutely free body kindness EFT. It's a tapping session where I take you through, first off, I explain what tapping is. If you don't know what tapping is, please don't worry. Even if you're skeptical or you have no idea, just it's set up for absolute beginners. So what I do is I take you through explaining what tapping is, how to do it, potential benefits, and then we go through a tapping series. And this is all about making peace with your body, being kind to yourself. And if you are on the pursuit of true health and you are listening to this podcast called Self-Love Ignited, chances are there's some connection with your body in there, right? So I really want to encourage you, if you have not signed up already, if you have not accessed this free tapping session already, please do so. There's a link down in the show notes, or if you are watching this on Instagram, just go to my bio and there is a link there where you can grab that. Again, absolutely free, perfect for beginners. It's just a really nice, gentle introduction, and it is a nice step that you can take today. It's not about hating yourself healthy. We're talking loving yourself healthy. We are talking being compassionate with yourself, being kind to yourself, creating balance within and without. That is how you are going to create health, true health, balanced health, harmony within and without. All right. So if any of this resonates with you, I would really appreciate you sign up for that freebie. First off, I think you would really appreciate that. But also, I would really appreciate if you would let me know, right? Write a comment, leave a review, tell me. Sometimes when you record these, it kind of feels like it's going out into the universe, and I never know really how it lands with people. So if this has resonated with you, please leave a comment, leave a review, let me know. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being here. Now get on out there and love yourself healthy. You can do it. You deserve it. So much love to you. See you next time.